You can see here the main materials that will be used for sewing the garment. I will use traditional additional materials. If you are into sewing, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. I chose thin red synthetic crepe for the jacket. I will sew the corset from nylon mesh fabric in 2 layers. This mesh fabric stretches in one direction, along the crosswise grain. And it stretches very slightly along the lengthwise grain. I will cut in the crosswise direction, i.e. perpendicularly to the edge. So the waistline will run parallel to the selvage. Each piece of the corset will be cut from 2 layers of mesh fabric, but nevertheless, the pieces will remain rather transparent. Mesh fabric will be overlaid with red lace. I will cover the cups and the bones and also finish the bottom of the corset with flesh-colored Armani fabric, which also stretches only in the crosswise direction. But we will not have to cut out the details from this fabric. I only need straight strips to cover the bones and a very small piece to make a cup cover. I will cut the cup lining from the thin, flesh-colored knitted fabric. Naturally, I will need a pair of foam cups and a pair of rigid round bones. You can choose a cup which you like, both in size and shape. If necessary, the cup can be trimmed or cut. The only important condition that must be taken into account is that the length of the rigid, round bone should be 3 to 4 centimeters shorter than the lower arc of the cup. It is necessary for the final finishing of the cup. I'm not going to discuss obligatory supplementary materials, such as a cup tunnel, glue materials, and additional laces, which we will use in our work and which also should be bought and prepared. We need a nude elastic band for finishing the top of the corset. Although it is possible to decorate the top of the corset with a red elastic band as well, it is desirable that the elastic band is resilient enough and we can fold it in half. Also, I will need a satin ribbon of the main fabric color for the corset lacing. Having discussed the main materials, let us talk about the basic patterns enclosed in this tutorial. First, you should print out all the patterns. The only condition for printing is you should configure the printer for a natural or actual size. A pile of the printed patterns is quite weighty because it includes the patterns of the jacket with sleeves and the corset itself. After that, we have to glue the printed sheets together in a certain order to get the basic patterns of all parts of the garment. Each sheet of the pattern has a small miniature, which shows the position of this particular sheet on the pattern of the detail. In addition, to help you further, after printing out all the sheets of the pattern relating to a particular part of the garment, a file, How to Match, has to be printed out. It shows which sheet numbers and how to join them with each other to get the pattern of this detail. A few words about matching the printed out sheets of the patterns. Due to the technical features of printers, there are thin, white margins along the perimeter of all printed pattern sheets, which in no case need to be cut. If necessary, the lines of the patterns should simply be prolonged. For gluing the pattern sheets, there is a special strip on each sheet as an allowance. The sheets are glued overlapping. After all the sheets are glued together and the basic pattern of the garment is ready, you can start measuring and adjusting it. In this tutorial, we will not do traditional pattern adjustments in the way I usually do with the help of the table, because there is no such need for cutting this garment. But, of course, we will obligatorily measure the basic pattern and adjust it to the customer's measurements.